My name is Sienna Vance. I was 32 years old, sitting in a tucked-away bookstore cafe in West Loop, Chicago, when a man I'd never met slid into the chair opposite me and told me not to leave my husband. The air was thick with the scent of old paper and espresso. Around us, people typed on laptops, entirely unaware that my world was tilting on its axis. The stranger's name was Marcus Thorne. His demeanor was all calm precision, a steady gaze, measured tone. He said my husband's name, Liam, like it was a neutral data point. Liam is involved with my wife. I didn't flinch. A chilling certainty solidified in my veins, heavier and more final than any anxiety I'd carried. Suspicion is a ghost. Confirmation is an anchor. Marcus placed a slim, legal-sized envelope on the wooden table between us, but didn't open it. He leaned forward slightly. File first and you hand them the advantage. I stared at his hands, my own unnervingly still. I'd rehearsed this moment in my mind 100 ways, tears, rage, crumbling. Instead, I felt a surreal, icy focus settle over me. He spoke in low, clear sentences. The court doesn't hear heartbreak. It hears evidence. React from pain, and you shield the people who betrayed you. He'd already consulted attorneys. He'd already begun compiling a record, a cold, chronological log of deception. As I listened, the hum of the cafe fading to a buzz, I understood. This wasn't an invitation to chaos. It was a strategic warning from the front lines of the same war. I thought of Liam, of the new gym routine that left him buoyant, of the phone that now lived screen down, of the expensive aftershave that had appeared in our bathroom. Our once familiar home had become a beautifully staged set where I was the only actor who didn't know the script. Marcus finally pushed the envelope closer. You don't have to decide anything today. Just promise me you won't rush. I gave a single, slow nod. That simple movement in that ordinary cafe was the moment my life stopped unraveling and began, with grim determination, to reweave itself. My marriage to Liam Walsh had lasted 6 years. He was a structured man, a financial analyst with long but predictable hours. I was a copywriter, working from the sunlit nook of our condo. Our life was a portfolio of quiet routines: Thursday night pasta, Saturday errands, a standing reservation at a neighborhood bistro. Liam wasn't passionate, but he was present, or so I believed. I had mistaken his quiet for depth, his predictability for fidelity. The cracks didn't show as fractures, but as subtle, almost polite distances. A later work dinner here, a shorter text reply there, a new, sharper wardrobe. It was a quiet erosion. The undeniable truth came not from a detective, but from a rain-smeared restaurant window. I saw him, laughing with a blonde woman in an emerald green dress, his hand resting over hers with an easy familiarity that broke something inside me. I didn't storm out. I finished my wine, paid the bill, and went home. That night, I began a different life. Externally, I was the same Sienna. Internally, I became an archivist of my own betrayal, jotting down times, absences, and excuses in a hidden notebook. Marcus's envelope contained photos, credit card statements, and hotel receipts. His wife's name was Elena. Seeing the proof was a brutal relief. At our second meeting, Marcus was more direct. He lifted a durable aluminum briefcase onto the chair beside him. This isn't a bribe, he stated preemptively. It's a resource for restraint. Inside were neatly stacked bands of cash. I'm asking for 90 days, he said. If you file now, they scatter and cover their tracks. If we wait, their pattern becomes a prison of their own making. The request was excruciating. 90 more days of playing the faithful wife. But I saw the brutal logic. Our situations were interlocked dominoes. My move would trigger his collapse. I took the case, not for the money, but as a tangible pact to trade momentary rage for lasting consequence. The following months were an exercise in surreal discipline. I smiled. I packed lunches. I wished Liam well on his business trip to San Diego, while Marcus confirmed Elena's parallel flight reservation. I discovered a signed lease for a loft in Bucktown, Liam's name alone, dated 2 months prior. I photographed every page and placed it back, perfectly aligned. We were building an immovable wall of facts, one brick at a time. Liam, believing his double life was seamless, grew careless. He even suggested getting a weekday pied a terre to cut his commute, the very loft he already shared with Elena. I agreed, as if it were a sensible idea. On a clear Tuesday morning, with our attorneys synchronized, 2 sets of divorce papers were filed simultaneously. Liam was served at his office. His frantic call was a jumble of confusion and bluster. When I met him at home, my voice was quiet, flat. I listed the evidence: the Bucktown loft, the San Diego trip, the overlapping life with Elena. When I told him Elena's husband had filed at the same moment, the color drained from his face. His facade didn't just crack, it evaporated. The legal proceedings were anticlimactic. Our dossier of evidence, timestamps, financial commingling, the cohabitation lease, spoke with a silence that was deafening. The judge's ruling was a dry recitation of facts leading to an inevitable conclusion: dissolution, division, a quiet, uncompromising end. Afterwards, Marcus and I exchanged one final, brief call. No celebration, just an acknowledgement of a grim mission completed. The first night alone in my reclaimed condo, I slept a deep, dreamless sleep. I had learned that patience isn't passive. It is the sharpest tool of preparation. This wasn't a story of winning a fight. It was the story of finally, calmly, removing myself from a lie. The greatest revenge was a fresh start, built not on anger, but on unshakable, hard-won truth. Did this story resonate? Where are you watching from? Would you have confronted immediately, or would you have gathered your proof? Share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Chronicles of Resolve for more stories about strategic strength, real-world consequences, and rebuilding with clarity.